I'm laughing quietly to myself with this one because this is a bit of a departure for me, because this is a toy I never had when I was tiny. But I think that it may be one that I have always had this really early childhood memory of, and I got this one, which you may be able to see is moderately beaten up. They can go for a lot more than I paid for this one, because this one isn't in sort of minty condition. But I just wanted to sort of get a look at it to understand whether or not I actually do remember this as I think I do, whether or not it is actually this that I'm remembering, because there weren't many space shuttle type toys around in the sort of possibly the late 70s, maybe, is the sort of time period I'm remembering. And I just have this remembrance of seeing something that looked like a space shuttle but was quite orangey inside, that had small figures. But I'm just going to measure this because I was intrigued when I saw the box that this arrived in, because it was much bigger than I was anticipating. And that's it's about 43 centimetres long, which is getting on for 1.5 feet. That's a big ship. It's far bigger than many of them that I look at on this table. And it was electronic. You can see there it's got various buttons. You can also see that it's decidedly lacking in a battery and a battery cover. However, I could hook that up. The contacts look alright. The wires are intact. It may well work if I were to put a battery in there. So if you're at all curious, I can probably find that for you. Now, this is the bit that makes me wonder whether it is actually the one that I remember, because I wonder if you can stand it up on its end like that, and yeah, that's pretty stable. That's the sort of view of it that I remember. I mean, you won't be able to sort of see that because of the zoom on here, but you can see that it's quite orangey on its inside, and it's got a rather nice sliding command seat here that comes in and out. And I believe that there were astronaut figures for this, so it is possible that this is the one that I recall, because that orange interior can't be overly common, I wouldn't have thought. I've no idea how complete this is. I mean, obviously, as I say, I think there were figures. I don't know if there's anything else that was supposed to go in the middle there. It looks like there could have been another chair or something that's slotted into this area here. It looks like there's a sort of compartmenty sort of area here, which maybe held something else. I'm not sure what. I thought these black buttons here, I'm not sure what they are, if they're just for display purposes or if they actually did something back in the day, because they feel as if they've got some give to them, but I've no idea what they're there for. So obviously these are, that's the back of that. It looks like where the sounds come from, actually. That, I imagine, houses the speaker if it's still functional. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pause this for a second, and I'm just going to see if I can actually find the appropriate battery. Bear with me. So I'm happy to report that I do indeed have a battery, which in theory, 50 odd years on or something, or nearly 50 years on, might actually bring this back to life. Let's have a look. Okay. No life coming out of that, I'm afraid. No, maybe not. I mean, it might be that this battery isn't working, of course. I'm just have it off camera to see if I can see an actual on-off switch for it in totality. As you can see, I think I can't see one on the underside anywhere. Let's see what... if there's anywhere else that would lend itself to having an on-off button at all. No, so those are not in any way, shape or form something to spring into life, I don't think. So I don't know if that's a dead battery or a dead speaker or dead buttons or any combination of those factors, but I'm afraid that doesn't seem to be wanting to make any noise at the moment. I'll try and do some research on that and just see if you know, that is a sort of a common issue. It wasn't advertised as a very sensible rubber nose on it. That's not going to take anyone's eye out unless you try really hard. So yeah, I mean, there's this distinct possibility that because I was lusting after one of these and never actually got it, it's quite possible it's one that I saw at a friend's house and just never actually got my own hands on when I was little, and that's why I remember it. So it's a Fisher-Price Alpha probe if you're curious. So yeah, interesting one to pick up, especially that sort of, especially at the price I didn't pay for it, because I wouldn't have wanted to get one just for the sake of it had it been particularly pricey, because I think that would have been a step too far really. But I'll have to investigate on the battery front and see if I can actually resurrect it in any way, shape or form. It may just be dead, obviously. But I do know a chap who might be able to investigate for me actually. I wonder if there are interesting little, I don't even, the little sort of almost like little hexagon screws on the bottom of it, so maybe you can get into it to have a look. It's possible. But anyway, yeah, so that's that. If anyone knows any more about it, or you know, is desperately keen for me to get the sounds working, then obviously, as I say, I'll try. But other than that, that might be one childhood mystery solved. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you for the next one.